And now may I invite our second business spotlight speaker, Mr. Brian Rowbotham, the tax partner of the Crowe LLP. Brian is also a board member of the Hong Kong ANC, and he's going to talk about the business and technology transition during the COVID-19 pandemic in this 3 to 4 minutes sharing. Welcome, Brian. Thank you for joining us today. The floor is yours.
Thanks, Yanni, and really big thanks to both you and Michelle for putting this on. This is very exciting, and I'm very, very pleased and appreciative of being invited to this first joint meeting. I have a long history of Hong Kong. I'll get into that in a moment. Originally, like many people on this call, I'm an immigrant. I ended up in San Francisco, kind of the long way. My parents were in the UK. From the UK, but I was born in Argentina. Things got a little bit rough politically in the 50s and 60s, so my family left Argentina, and I grew up in Canada. And then later, like quite a few people on this call, I'm sure, they went to school in the U.S. I went to school at UC Berkeley and decided to stay in California. And just a short note on California, particularly Damien, the people in Hong Kong, I kind of feel like we have similar experiences. Hong Kong goes through a pretty tough time, but it always bounces back twice as high. California seems to be hit with fires, cost of living going crazy, people wondering if they're going to stay. And then recently I read something about tax rates going up to 16 or 17%. And so the last time I got on a big call like this, I heard quite a few people talking about leaving California. But I did see somebody called Chris. They left New York, and Chris is coming out to California. So this San Francisco will always be vibrant. Silicon Valley is all around us, and it's an exciting place to be. My ties go back to Hong Kong to 1988. Actually, I took my first trip there. I was on a business trip, and since then there was a lot of development with Hong Kong businesses coming to the West Coast, and so I struck up some personal relationships, but also with a number of law firms with a lot of real estate transactions coming into the Bay Area throughout the U.S., hotels and commercial property developments. So over the years, I've been back and forth to Hong Kong. This is probably one of the first years I haven't been back because of COVID. Hope towards the end of this year, January, I'll get to meet you in person, Damien. Also, my ties go back to before I became a partner. I'm a partner, an international tax partner at Crowe. Crowe is a national accounting and tax firm. Also has offices and affiliations throughout the world. And that is really a great opportunity for a practice group I manage in San Francisco. It's an international practice group. So we do business, help individuals and businesses globally that are coming into San Francisco or the Bay Area or other places throughout the U.S. And we also help individuals, families, businesses with investments or businesses expanding to China, India, to Europe, to Hong Kong. So that part of the practice is some countries have a quiet period, other countries pick up. So currently, the business seems to be very vibrant. Clearly, we're in the technology area here, and so the technology business is really on fire in some ways. In terms of what we do in our practice, I can say it maybe in 3 terms. We help individuals, businesses with the international tax implications of moving in and out of the U.S. So one example we had recently is a wealthy family in Kowloon with commercial real estate interests, but a few members of the family are living in the U.S. And so we were tasked with restructuring their ownership because the U.S. individuals are subject to the U.S. tax rates at 40%. So a lot of what we do is actually working for wealthy families that have controlling interest in corporations or investments, and we help to work with other advisors, attorneys around the world just to minimize the cost and the tax impacts. Another area that I see is booming, we're actively involved, is the esports area, where it's online gaming. And that's not like Las Vegas. It's more the League of Legends, it's the Activision, and now the NBA League, where they're basically doing sporting events with gaming throughout the world. We currently work with structuring or helping a China team and a Korean team. So the esports is a big area. Another area we work in is the cryptocurrency, the blockchain area. And if some of you are following that, there's some interesting news in today's, the last couple of days. So crypto is a controversial area. Our job is to help structure these companies or advise investors and alert them to how to comply, how to deal with these issues on their tax filings. It's very abstract, but the IRS is ramping up their alerts. And so it's a big area people need to be aware of. Now and then we help some individuals leave the country. We have a lot of people in the Bay Area where they are changing their future. They're going back to their country of origin, whether it's China, India, UK. And so from time to time, because of the US tax burden, we help these individuals with expatriating or giving up their US citizenship. It's a complicated process, but from time to time, some people make this decision. They can typically return to the US, but there are a lot of tax implications. Lastly, what we do in our practice a lot in San Francisco is we help represent people when they have difficult tax audits. California is very aggressive. The IRS is ramping up their audit capabilities, particularly in the cross-border area. So we not only do we do the work, advise and file and advise on the compliance, but in the event there's an audit, we're not shy about negotiating or dealing with the IRS. Hopefully that's a minimal activity, but it comes up from time to time. Anyway, just in finishing, over the years, we've hired many students from Hong Kong. I had a prior firm that we merged into Crowe, and we continue to hire students and professionals from Hong Kong. Even today, after 20 years, one of my key partners in our international tax group, she's from Hong Kong. So I'll continue to stay involved and look forward to returning to Hong Kong soon. Thanks, Yanni.
Thank you, Brian. So if any of our participants who want to know more about Brian's profession and also the call, please connect with him after today's event. And thank you so much for your sharing, Brian.